Hello, I'm Arthur from Bop DJ, and today we're going to look at one of the most highly anticipated products of the year, the new all-in-one standalone system from Native Instruments, MASCHINE Plus. Now, before we delve into the features and specs of this unit, it's worth mentioning that this has been highly requested by performers and producers alike for years and years. Since its conception, MASCHINE has always been about combining that modern computing power with a hardware-based workflow for a fast, creative and fun approach to music production. Now, at last, those elements have been brought together along with the iconic sounds from Complete and the industry-leading software and effects from Native Instruments to bring you one of the world's most powerful standalone instruments, MASCHINE Plus. Right off the bat, we can see that the MASCHINE Plus shares the same layout and ergonomic design as its predecessor. This is great news for those that are familiar with that fast, fun and flexible approach to making music that the MASCHINE Mark III is renowned for. However, there are some notable differences and improvements, especially in the build quality. It's evident straight away that in addition to being a studio centerpiece, this is a product that is being designed for life on the road. The sturdy cabinet has a robust aluminium casing with a slick gunmetal finish, and the knobs feel really well built and have a lovely resistance to them. It's got a bit more weight to it than the Mark III due to the new chassis and CPU internals, but I've got to say, it feels absolutely solid. It definitely looks and feels like it can take quite a bit of hammering compared to the Mark III, but that being said, always buy a deck saver. Deck savers are your best friend. MASCHINE Plus has everything you need to kickstart your music productions without the use of a computer. Native have made this possible by integrating a quad-core processor, 4GB of RAM and 32GB of internal flash storage. It features two full-colour displays, an inbuilt Wi-Fi receiver and an included 64GB SD card for further storage. The Pro-grade 24-bit audio interface offers a selection of ins and outs, including two 1/4-inch TRS line inputs, two 1/4-inch TRS line outputs, a 1/4-inch dynamic microphone input, one MIDI in, one MIDI out and a stereo headphone output. There are two USB-A ports for MIDI keyboards and external instruments, so you can expand your setup with some extra outboard gear, and the power input features a locking mechanism to keep your unit secure and free from any unplugging mishaps. All of these features are there to improve the speed and usability for musicians, meaning that you can just plug in, power up and sketch out a beat in seconds. Once you have everything connected, the power button will start to glow. Hold it down for a couple of seconds to power it up. If you're connecting to MASCHINE Plus for the first time, make sure you've got access to Wi-Fi so you can easily set it up and access new or existing content from your native account and download it directly onto the device. To speed up this process, you can use your phone to scan the QR code and MASCHINE Plus will activate straight away with a demo project waiting for you. MASCHINE Plus is all about freedom. The fast and flexible approach is great for developing new ideas and turning them into performance-ready pieces with the help of the arranging and mixing tools that include effects, plugins, swing, pad link, note repeat, a step sequencer and vintage sample emulation. The 16 velocity-sensitive pads feel as responsive as ever, and the unit offers a magnitude of control and versatility if you want to get into the nitty-gritty editing of your music. However, the main attraction is the immersive workflow away from the computer screen for creative stage and studio performances. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the MASCHINE Mark III, let me just give you a quick run through of what everything does. First, we have the transport section. Here you can play and overdub anything you want to put in. Next, we have the group section. We have 8 available groups and each group has 16 sounds allocated to each group, so you can toggle between each of them and fill them up with sounds as you go, giving you a huge amount of sounds available at any given time. Next, we have the touch strip. This can be used for a number of different things. Firstly, a pitch bend, a mod wheel, and a performance effect, so you can assign a number of different effects and alter them using the strip. Up here we've got a note repeat, and over here we're moving on to all the different modes. Pad mode just plays back the sounds loaded on the pads. Keyboard mode enables us to play a melodic instrument chromatically. We can also change the scale and the root note on the display up here. Chord mode lets us trigger chords. Next to the chord mode, we have the step sequencer. Now this is great for entering notes per step, so you can make nice groovy drum beats really quickly. Over here we've got the track mixer, which allows us to change the volume settings and the panning of each of the sounds. And here we have the inbuilt sampler, which means you can sample straight into the device using the audio interface and chop up, edit and slice all the sounds on the displays there. If you want to have a flick through all of the software instruments and effects that Maschine Plus has to offer, just click the browser button here and you can cycle through all the different presets and load in your own from your native account. Now, when I first heard that Native were releasing their own standalone device, I was a little concerned that maybe the software and effects that were integrated would be those super light versions that are really scaled back and you can't do a lot in terms of control over your sounds and parameters. However, the way it's been designed really accounts for that. It's super optimized, and the way the macros work along with the displays on screen, even though it is a little scaled back, you can still change effects, change sounds really quickly on the fly, and it sounds great. And that's what this device is all about, fast creative freedom. Not only is Maschine Plus an impressive studio centerpiece, but it's also been designed for on-stage live performances too. Later on in the video you can check out our very own Lewis performing on Maschine Plus in a live studio setting. So, who is this unit for? This isn't a battery powered device for sitting in the garden and getting some quick ideas down. It's much more than that. This is for those musicians who want to get away from the computer screen, the keyboard and mouse, and just sit in front of an immersive standalone system and get fast creative ideas down with a streamlined workflow. If, like me, you have a habit of starting a tune and suddenly you look up and it's 5 hours later and all you've got is an 8-bar drum loop, perfectly EQ'd of course, this may be the device for you, because it lets you get ideas down quickly, get them performance ready with the arranging and mixing tools, and gives you just that fast creative workflow that just feels so much different than sitting in front of a computer screen with a keyboard and mouse. If Maschine Plus sounds like something you'd be interested in, please feel free to visit one of our Bop DJ stores and come and give it a go yourself.